Welcome to ShortView Trading, so morning market here for Monday 26th of October. What matters today and this week for traders? Well, there's clearly much worrying markets at the moment, and we've seen over the weekend that in the form of infection rates rising in Europe and the States. In France, a record daily number of new infections, new restrictions in Spain and indeed in Italy, troubling markets and sending markets lower overnight in Asian trading hours. Indeed, as we speak, the S&P futures are down around 1% lower. Bond yields have come off from their 200-day moving average levels at the back end of last week and trading a number of basis points down from there. But it's worth remembering that bull markets climb a wall of worry, and that's for good reason. And the good reason is that if we're concerned and everyone's concerned, policymakers are concerned, and therefore they're going to act, and you're going to get the liquidity and more stimulus. And so in that respect, it's interesting to see Pelosi's comments over the weekend, the Speaker of the House, once again making encouraging comments this weekend. Last weekend, it was the 48-hour deadline that came and went, and talks still continued. This weekend, it's more promising noises from Nancy Pelosi. So it looks as though a fiscal stimulus package will probably come. There are some election outcomes which might mean that it doesn't happen. Tuesday next week, that presidential election result, that may turn out to be the case, but the majority of instances, a fiscal package is coming, and of course that's bullish for markets. But it's also encouraging to see European equity markets continue to hold key support levels, their 200-day moving average at the back end of last week. And on top of that, Bitcoin's held on to its gains. So last week we talked a lot about Bitcoin. It surged earlier in the week. It's held on to those gains overnight, which is encouraging. So the key question is, are we consolidating or rolling over? Or does there need to be some hedging ahead of the presidential election Tuesday next week? For full detail on how we're playing this, please see today's Daily Rag, available to subscribers via the website, or simply click on the link in the text below in order to subscribe. So what are we watching this week? Well, over and above the vaccine news flow and the stimulus news flow, which is of course important, there are probably four key themes this week. Firstly, central bank meetings. Two big central banks, the ECB and the BoJ, meeting both on Thursday. Both need to do more. Whether or not they'll do at this meeting, the market's not so sure. On top of that, you've got the Bank of Canada on Wednesday. Secondly, it's a big week for earnings, not only in Europe, where you've got a whole bunch of banks reporting, but more importantly in the States, you've got the big tech companies reporting on Tuesday with Microsoft, and the big four on Thursday, Apple, Google, Facebook and Amazon. Thirdly, we have the Chinese Communist Party meeting most of this week, Monday to Thursday, doing the prep work for their 14th five-year plan, for the plan for 2021 to 2025. There may well be some news flow on the back of that. On top of that, we got the first major take on Q3 GDP across the globe, with the US reporting Q3 on Thursday and Eurozone reporting on Friday. Of course, after a significant downdraft in GDP in Q2 under lockdown, it'd be interesting to see how much of that they take back. The Atlanta Fed GDP Now survey is penciling in about 35% annualized growth in Q3. And on top of that, of course, there are other bits and pieces of macro data, including durable goods orders and personal income and spending, and Eurozone M3 money supply and so on. So that's it from us. That's your morning market hit for Monday, 26th of October. Thank you for listening. Please do subscribe on YouTube. Simply search under ShortView Trading, or follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter and or Facebook. Thank you for listening. Trade well.